Buzz, welcome back to the channel where we talk all things K-pop, concerts, and all the little details you might have missed. And today, oh, this is big. This is the kind of news that has me pacing around my room, trying to figure out if I need to sell my furniture to afford a trip to Seoul. Because ENHYPEN just announced something that is going to shake the K-pop world. Yup, it's official. ENHYPEN will be holding an Encore concert in Seoul. And not just any concert, this is Walk the Line Final, happening from October 24th to 26th at KSPO DOME in Olympic Park, Songpa-gu. 3 nights, 3 huge performances. And if you know KSPO DOME, you know, that's not a small space. That's the big leagues. Now here's the part that really made me go, okay, they're spoiling us. All 3 nights will be live streamed online, which means even if you can't physically be in Seoul, you can still be part of this moment. And I think that's smart, because not everyone can hop on a plane, buy a ticket, and be there in person. But live streams? That's a game changer. You can cry in your living room along with thousands of other fans around the world. This is kind of wild when you think about it. ENHYPEN started their Walk the Line World Tour just last October at Goyang Sports Complex main stadium. Since then, they've met fans in 18 cities. 18. That's basically a crash course in how to become one of the most in-demand groups in K-pop. And now, almost a year later, they're wrapping it all up in their home country, in a stadium that feels like a K-pop rite of passage. And can we just take a second to talk about their Japan achievements? Recently, they performed at Tokyo's Ajinomoto Stadium and Osaka's Yanmar Stadium. And that made them the fastest foreign artist to perform at a Japanese stadium just 4 years and 7 months since debut. Let me repeat that. Fastest, foreign, artist. That's not just impressive, that's record-breaking history. So I have to ask, do you think ENHYPEN is slowly climbing into that top-tier boy group territory? Because to me, it's not just about album sales or streams anymore. When you're selling out stadiums in Japan in under 5 years, when your US and Europe tours are selling out in cities like Chicago, LA, London, Amsterdam, Brussels, Berlin, and Paris, that's not luck. That's power. That's demand. And let's be real, how many K-pop groups can say they've had 7 sold-out shows across 2 continents in one tour? This is the kind of thing you usually hear about BTS, maybe Blackpink, but ENHYPEN is proving they can play in the big leagues too. But here's my personal take. I think part of their magic is how global they feel. Their music, their concepts, even their fan interactions. They're not just targeting Korea or Japan, they're making it feel like they belong everywhere. You watch an ENHYPEN show and it doesn't matter if you're in Seoul or São Paulo, you feel like you're part of it. And this Encore concert feels like a way to say, hey, we see you wherever you are. Now this live stream idea, I think it's brilliant, but I'm curious, do you think it takes away from the special feeling of being there in person? Like if everyone can watch from home, does that make it less exclusive? Or does it make it even better because more fans can experience it? I'm torn. Personally, I love that they're doing it because it means accessibility for more fans. But I also know there's something magical about being in the venue, screaming until you lose your voice, and knowing only the people in that room are feeling exactly what you're feeling in that moment. And speaking of being in the room, can we talk about how insane KSPO DOME concerts get? The acoustics, the lighting, the energy, it's basically the K-pop Avengers headquarters. So imagine ENHYPEN on their final tour stop in that venue, knowing they've just conquered the world. I have chills just thinking about it. You know what else is making me think? This isn't just a random encore. This is a finale that's been planned for a reason. You don't end at KSPO DOME unless you want to go out with a bang. So, do you think they're going to drop something new? A comeback announcement? Maybe a teaser for the next era? Because honestly, a final tour stop is the perfect time to shock the fandom. And okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Tickets. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're planning to be in Seoul for this, you better start figuring out your strategy now. We've seen how ENHYPEN tickets sell, and trust me, KSPO DOME or not, it's gonna be a battlefield. I've been in enough ticketing wars to know, you blink, you lose. So I want to hear from you. Would you rather be there in person and risk the ticket chaos? Or would you rather have a guaranteed seat on your couch for the live stream, snacks in hand, and no one pushing you in the crowd? Be honest. Okay, so let's dream a little bit about what this encore might actually look like. Because if you've been following ENHYPEN's tour set list, you know they've been giving us a mix of hype tracks, emotional ballads, and those signature performance-heavy numbers. But this is the finale, and finales are meant to be unforgettable. I can totally see them opening with something explosive like Blessed Cursed or Given Taken to immediately set the tone, followed by that perfect mix of newer hits and fan favorites. And if I'm being honest, I would not be surprised if they threw in a surprise stage, maybe a remix version of one of their older songs, or even a brand new track that's unreleased. Because K-pop encores are notorious for sneak peeks. And here's a wild thought. What if they did a collab stage? I mean, they've been around so many big names during their tours, and KSPO Dome has hosted some legendary moments. Imagine ENHYPEN sharing the stage with another artist for one night only. That's the kind of thing that would have Twitter melting down in real time. But beyond the performances, I think this encore is going to be really emotional. They've been on the road for almost a year. That's airports, hotels, rehearsals, endless sound checks, and constantly being on. Coming home to Seoul to close it all out? You just know there are going to be speeches where the members get choked up, maybe even some tears. And honestly, those are the moments that stick with fans the most. Speaking of fans, ENHYPEN, you guys are about to bring the energy of a lifetime. I know how passionate you are. And when that fan chant hits during the chorus of Future Perfect or Drunk Dazed, KSPO Dome is gonna feel like it's shaking. That's the magic of a finale. The artist gives everything they have left, and the fans match it. But let's zoom out for a second. This tour has been massive. 18 cities already, plus the US and European legs selling out in major markets like Chicago, LA, London, Paris. That's not something every group can pull off. And now with this encore, ENHYPEN isn't just wrapping up a tour. They're making a statement about where they stand in the industry. Here's my personal theory. I think this encore is going to set the tone for their next big era. Whether that's a concept shift, a sound change, or even a new storyline in their lore, it's going to be hinted at here. Because HYBE loves to plant seeds, and ENHYPEN's entire discography is basically one big interconnected puzzle. Also, can we just appreciate how strategic this is? Ending in October, right before the holiday season, means they've got the perfect momentum to either drop a winter comeback or announce something huge for 2026. And given their growth over the past year, whatever's next is going to be on an even bigger scale. Now, I know some people might be thinking, isn't this too soon for an encore? Didn't they just tour? But honestly, when you've sold out multiple continents and your demand is still growing, you strike while the iron's hot. Plus, ENHYPEN are the kind of fandom that shows up every single time. Here's where I want to pull you into the conversation. If you could pick one thing for ENHYPEN to do during this finale, what would it be? Would you want a never-before-heard song? A special unit stage? A throwback medley to their debut days? Personally, I'm leaning toward a from debut to now medley. It would be such a powerful way to show their journey in just a few minutes. And I'm not going to lie, part of me just wants them to throw an after-party concert style for the live stream viewers too. Like once the official set ends, keep the cameras rolling for 20 more minutes of just chaos, talking, and fan service. That would make live stream tickets feel extra worth it. Also, I have to mention, the production for a KSPO Dome finale is going to be insane. The lighting, the stage extensions, the pyro effects, everything will be dialed up to 11. If you've seen past KSPO Dome shows, you know they use every inch of that venue. Which makes me wonder, will ENHYPEN break out a 360 stage setup? Imagine them performing completely surrounded by fans. It would feel so intimate, even in a massive arena. And just to add a little spice, finale concerts are also prime time for shocking announcements. I wouldn't be surprised if, on that last night, they suddenly dropped a teaser video on the screens, leaving everyone screaming. It could be a comeback, a new world tour, a documentary. We've seen it happen before. All right, I'm gonna end on this thought. This isn't just going to be another concert. This is going to be the exclamation point at the end of ENHYPEN's most ambitious tour yet. Whether you're watching from the stands or your couch, you're going to feel the weight of this moment. And for a group that's only been around for under 5 years, that's pretty extraordinary. So, are you planning to watch the live stream? Or are you going to go full chaos mode and try to be there in person? And most importantly, what's the one thing you hope ENHYPEN does to make this finale unforgettable? I'll be in the comments, waiting to read your predictions.